300 years inside the beyond, the heavens' decree manifested upon the earth. Numerous hidden nation-states and dungeons materialized, bringing with them a multitude of formidable monsters, signaling humanity's imminent doom. But following the initial chaos, the woke-up emerged. These awakeners wielded bold abilities and, in the end, triumphed over the monsters, rescuing the world from imminent destruction. To fight the continuing chance of monsters, they delved deeper into mystery geographical regions to secure wealth and assets. Countries eventually intensified efforts to nurture awakeners aiming for generic awakening by using the age of 18. Wang, Wei 3rd 12 months Magnificence 2. Awakening unsuccessful. No designation assigned. Li Wei's a 33 12 months Elegance 2. Successful awakening. Designation Swordsman. Wang, as a 33 12 months Magnificence 2. A successful awakening. Designation Craft. Awakeners are typically categorized into 3 categories based totally on their roles: fight, help, and introduction. The fight class is appeared as the most pragmatic and sought-after career, whereas the creation category, which lacks combat competencies, is typically deemed the weakest and least desired through many. Li, having woke up as a magic swordsman, smiled proudly, raising his hands to suggest his fight classification. However, Wang Gao realized with disappointment that he had wakened right into an assist role, prompting tears. In the meantime, an unknown 13 individual stood before a towering crystal, there again going through the target market. After the awakening rite concluded, the lessons had been similarly categorized into 4 ranks: commonplace, uncommon, hidden, and divine. Some of the target audience, a student observed that Jiang Chen, the pinnacle scholar, stood before the crystal. A radiant white mild emitted from the crystal, unexpected all of the other students. The divine rank changed into the rarest, and had now not been seen in their town for loads of years. It turned into rumored that once a divine rank profession seemed, it might purpose unusual phenomena within the heavens and earth. The scholars eagerly awaited to see which class Jiang Chen would belong to, with a few speculating that he may attain the divine rank, a rarity not witnessed in generations. Jiang Chen's awakening had demonstrated successful. The faculty main approached Jiang, praising him as an high-quality student and a pillar of the college. The major had expected that Jiang would wake up into a fight class, but he had not expected it to be of divine rank. Continuing to speak, the major inquired about Jiang's awakened profession. Jiang glanced lower back at the principal with a glance of misunderstanding. Turning to Stan the principal, Jiang corrected him, stating that he had now not woke up into a combat magnificence. The principal, looking shocked, speculated that Jiang is probably a guide magnificence rather. However, a green air of secrecy started out to glow around Jiang, as he explained that he had woke up into the introduction elegance. A divine rank religious cultivator, raising both arms, Jiang tested his abilities via creating flora. His skills enabled him to accelerate the growth of plants, grass, and small animals. The most important stood along with his mouth agape, stunned by means of Jiang's revelation of possessing divine power. He thought to himself that this became troublesome. Although it became a divine rank, the introduction elegance lacked combat talents and regarded useless in that regard. The unidentified guy standing beside the major reassured Jiang, advising him not to be discouraged. If Jiang could not combat, at least he could be safe. Non-secular cultivators had been quite valued in research fields, and being a divine rank added massive status. The foremost regretted that the promised advice for Jiang become now not possible. However, he advised that if Jiang pursued studies, his teacher might be able to offer an advice letter. Jiang locked eyes with the principal and expressed gratitude for the records, mentioning that he could not forget it. Stepping back from the principal and teacher, Jiang indicated that he had different topics to take care of and cautioned that if his teachers had no in addition commands, he would depart the room first. As Jiang walked away, students inside the audience laughed at him. One pupil with brown hair could not trust Jiang's awakening changed into so vulnerable. This pupil had assumed Jang could wake up into a divine combat magnificence. However, Jang turned into discovered to have an advent class. Every other pupil, masking his mouth with his hand, smirked and remarked on lifestyles' unpredictable nature. They had all assumed Jang could awaken right into a combat class, but now it seemed futile, even supposing he excelled in all topics. As Jang exceeded through his friends, he ought to listen to them, murmuring about how he were treated like royalty considering arriving at the college. Now they were curious to look how long he may want to hold up the facade. Another student laughed at Jang, commenting that regardless of how hard Jang worked, he would best ever be an introduction magnificence. Meanwhile, Lin, the faculty beauty who had continuously ranked second, had woke up to a hidden rank inside the fight elegance. Jang regarded down with a smirk on his face, locating the opposite student's phrases harsh. He hadn't realized that awakening as an introduction elegance might alternate things so considerably. However, he understood that during this existence, power became paramount. Raising his hand, Jang pondered what became incorrect with being a creation elegance. A notification appeared. You've got finished your career awakening. Awaken career. Non-secular cultivator, divine rank. The outlet situation of the Zerg natural disaster gadget has been met. The initial mom insect has been unlocked. Allow the gadget to summon mom bugs with a piercing red charisma. In his eyes, Jang concluded that this energy aligned perfectly along with his gadget. Jangan became reincarnated right into a world of awakeners following his dying after the quit of the Dark Era. Dungeons and monsters filled the world, establishing a new generation where electricity changed into revered above all else. Born as an orphan, Jang knew survival in this global required rigorous schooling and look at each day. Till he reached the age of 18, he believed he needed to rely solely on himself to make a dwelling. All at once, Jang wakened a device a month ago. A notification appeared indicating that when his awakening, Jang would be certain to the Zerg gadget and must entire the awakening as soon as possible. The machine could be fully accessible upon successful awakening. During the Dark Generation, the insect race had inflicted excessive harm upon mankind, proving to be an immensely effective adversary. Jang learned that during the last herbal catastrophe, 9 out of the 12 human kings had sacrificed themselves to seal the threat. On this global, electricity became paramount to Jang. Achieving electricity mattered more than the supply, although it meant embracing the Zerg machine. With a decided gaze, Jang activated the system immediately. He was transported to another realm, finding himself standing at the pinnacle water, defensive his eyes from the extreme radiance. With a finger to his forehead, Jang realized that he become in his sea of cognizance. To his marvel, he observed himself standing before an enormous tree glowing with white light. Further notifications appeared. Professional skills, all things evolve. Requires sacrifice, may be activated once every 10 days and used as soon as in line with target. Culmination of all things. By sacrificing, you may accumulate fruit growth progress and randomly acquire special end result. Boost up increase. Accelerates the increase rate of creatures currently improved by means of 10%. Mainly used for accelerating creature. Growth calm down of 8 hours after use. Jang absorbed this information, taking into account the newfound talents at his disposal inside his sea of cognizance. Rubbing his chin thoughtfully, Jang couldn't assist however smile at the system's proactive evaluation of his professional skills. Whilst those skills lacked direct combat skills, it seemed everyone could benefit his Zerg system in unique methods. Another notification seemed, indicating that system detection became complete. Jang became now able to start summoning mom bugs. Without hesitation, Jang initiated the summoning technique. An effective crimson air of secrecy materialized before him, and another notification accompanied. Summoning successful. Jang had summoned the natural catastrophe stage mom insect called 9 miasma wings. Jang located the manifestation of 9 miasma wings with a combination of curiosity and backbone. keen to discover the competencies of this summoned creature. Notification. Mother insect, 9 miasma wings, lord of death from the abyss. This creature once served as a natural disaster, triggering a catastrophic event that devastated the sector earlier than vanishing inside the 13 technology. The cutting-edge devouring cost of the mom insect is 0%, and mom insect intimacy is at 100%. Please complete the devouring method, breed offspring swarms, and release abilities as soon as viable. Facing the massive mom insect, Jang could not help but marvel at its size. The insect cited itself as Little Nine and expressed fondness for its grasp. Little Nine declared hunger and eagerness to consume. Thanks to Jang's talent, the contemporary increased charge were boosted by 10%. Jang advised that there was no want for sacrifices and proceeded with the improve. At once, it have become apparent that the mom insect had to feed to degree up, a challenging prospect. Jang realized a green tornado erupted in front of him, and he could not assist but be surprised via the powerful aura emanating from the insect. All at once, piercing pink eyes locked with Jang's gaze with a demonic charisma and intense stare. The giant insect transformed right into a human. Another notification sounded. Congratulations, 9 miasma wings have completed the lifestyle's transition and been upgraded. Gain new abilities, feed stocks 10 times the revel in with the host. Poison mist transforms into poison mist that corrodes the entirety. Sharing increases all host attributes by means of 20%. The now human Little Nine developed and embraced Jang, blushing. Jang realized that Little Nine had certainly developed right into a human form. The talent of the spiritual cultivator ought to boost up the devouring growth of the mom insect, and the experience gained from the mom insect's feed should hasten Jang's own upgrades. Moreover, increasing all attributes via 20% would beautify fight pros. Jang smiled, knowing that his career turned into a really perfect healthy for this machine, who needed a fight class now. With a grin, Jang rested his hand on 9 miasma's head. It seemed that by means of rapidly killing and devouring monsters, Jang may want to quickly amass an army of Zerg creatures. But a recent machine notification referred to something unsettling about the Zerg related to the Abyss and the catastrophic occasion of global destruction. The unfinished statistics indicated that this capability should be saved hidden at all fees. If determined, it can result in Jang's loss of life. In response, Jang decided to apply his identification as a creation profession and the abilities of 9 miasma wings as a cover, while he wolfed monsters to increase his power. However, hiding was no longer Jang's preferred method. He desired to end up sturdy enough to proudly show his skills to others. Pondering over those mind, Jang gazed at the tree, thinking of his direction ahead. Suddenly, the calm water underneath his toes started to churn aggressively. Little Nine leapt into the air, floating with a menacing glare as she sensed a nearby threat. Jang's eyes widened as a towering determine appeared earlier than him. The man addressed Jang, asking if the awakening phenomenon witnessed in the course of the city can be attributed to Jang. Beads of sweat shaped on Jang's face, as he regarded greatly surprised on the parent status before him. He concluded that this man or woman was at least a master level or above. Jang questioned why this guy becomes searching for him out. Students collected around Jang, and the unknown discern. This unknown guy has such a sturdy charisma, it may be felt even from this a ways away. Extreme dialogue articulated among the scholars. Jang could not assist, but marvel the level of his mana is at. The scholars started to take a position that this man is here for Jang Chen. There is probably a few form of war. As chatter filled the air, Jang locked eyes with the person who he regarded him as uncle. This uncle has been continuously exerting pressure on him since earlier. He is exerting pressure, but remaining silent. Jang wondered whether the uncle was checking out him. As Jang stared lower back at the man, all of a sudden Little Nine, licking her finger, knowledgeable Jang the uncle in the front of them poses a threat to Jang. And Little Nine is pretty tempted to consume him. Jang, sensing the bloodthirst from Little Nine, thought this is not appropriate. A notification popped up. The mother insect senses that the target poses a risk to the host. The contemporary target can offer an excessive level of devouring cost. The mother insect is about to begin devouring the goal. All at once, a wave of pink aura enveloped the area because the nearby college students held their arms to protect their faces. Little Nine sensed the man as a hazard, and now it's about to provoke an aggressive assault. The students had been not able to face up to such a cold and ominous aura as they took a step again. With a sharp crimson air of secrecy emitting from Jang's left eye, he deduced that once the devouring cost is just too low, the mother insect will become even greater aggressive. Jang had to quickly find some monster for Little Nine to consume. The uncle smiled at Jang's strain. He came to the realization that this became the uncle's aim. He wanted to test Jang's energy together with his strain, but it accidentally induced the mother insect. However, happily, the system message said he had quickly suppressed the mother insect. The modern-day devouring fee of the mother insect is too low. Please begin the devouring and breeding of the mother insect as soon as feasible. Devouring values due to 10,000. Jang can nevertheless suppress the mom insect, he notion. To night time. In the end, the unknown man spoke, praising Jang for completing his awakening and is able to face up to his stress and even counterattack. The man persisted to mention that Jang is actually worth of a divine rank awakened and his destiny is limitless. The students around Jang had been amazed by using Jang's significant air of mystery, relieved that no one had observed his secret electricity. Jang inquired who he was. The man added himself as Ji Gang, the leader of the Night Watch. Ji Gang did not waste whatever and admiring Jang's power. He proposed if Jang would remember joining the Night Watch as he stretched his hand out to Jang. Amazed by means of Ji Gang's notion, Jang understood that the Night Watch business enterprise, particularly tasked by way of incredible Shia, to withstand demons and beast ties. Every time there is a beast tide or a brand new mystery realm or dungeon is generated, the Night Watch is the first to investigate or without delay put off them. Due to regular fighting on the front strains, the mortality charge of the Night Watch is pretty high, and most people keep away from it. However, it turned into exceptional for Jang. The mother insect wishes to continuously eat the flesh and blood of monsters to build up devouring cost and reproduce offspring. Jang presently in need of opportunities to stand huge monsters, and as soon as the devouring fee is full, the mother insect will begin to reproduce, and who knows how much commotion it'll motive. The desert is a superb vicinity for the breeding of the mother insect, so long as he joins the Night Watch. Whether it's devouring or breeding, the risks posed by way of them may be effortlessly treated. From this point of view, the Night Watch organization is extraordinarily suitable for him. Ji Gang stated that students may have heard some rumors about the Night Watch. However, those are all old. The surrounding college students, overhearing their conversation, muttered how the Night Watch has an excessive mortality rate, and most people wouldn't move there, let alone Jang Chen. Ji Gang persevered. If Jang is willing to join them, he's going to acquire complete schooling, and as divine rank, his assets will be limitless. Jang, without hesitation, shook Ji Gang's hand, accepting his provide. Jang became amazed by how Ji Gang regularly occurring his thoughts so swiftly. Jang, closing his eyes, confessed that he had some commercial enterprise to take care of these days. He may want to experience that Little Nine was sad with the flip of occasions as she is hungry and desired to consume Ji Gang. As Jang departed, he turned his face barely to Ji Gang and stated that he'll report to the Night Watch after 3 days. Jang hastily took off, taking to the air. Ji Gang, nonetheless amazed, pondered that convincing Jang could have been greater complex and hadn't expected it to head this easily. He pondered what hidden profession Jang had as he forgot. Turning his head, 2 figures came in Jang's field of view. It was the 8 elder from the Martial Arts Academy. The aged guy was right here to grab Jang to join their agency. However, Ji Gang said that he turned into 2 past due. The aged man, ignoring Ji Gang's remark, inquired in which the man with divine rank creation elegance careworn. Changing the subject, Uncle Wang praised Jang for coming today as Uncle Wang's party was just about to visit a newbie-level mystery realm to get a few devices. Uncle Wang asked Jang if he would like to enroll in them and degree up together. Jang frequent the provide as they entered the portal. A message popped up, stating that Jang had finished the group formation. The machine notified Jang that he had entered the secret realm. Stepping out of the portal, Jang couldn't assist but surprise at the interior of the secret realm. Blue flames flickered throughout the hall as they endured to walk. The gadget said that they'd entered the undead zone. The secret realm guarantees a 100% drop fee of gadgets, and gadget experience points can be calculated after the secret realm is completed. Exiting voluntarily halfway is equivalent to forfeit revel in and gadget. Uncle Wang became surprised to peer undead infantrymen and pondered why the name of the game realm device matched them with a dungeon of this rank. Jang pondered and also concluded that this dungeon is not going to be as easy to cope with. Zia at the back of Uncle Wang wondered whether or not it became because of Jang because he's a divine rank wakened a good way to stability it out. The celestial gadget matched them with a higher level in the secret realm. But Uncle Wang chimed in, noting that Jang is of the creation class. Seeing the undead, the brunette girl counseled that they flip back. But Uncle Wang dismissed that notion. He knew that they do not come across mystery realms of this rank each day. How might they know the genuine strength of the undead in the event that they failed to strive? He reaffirmed that this time they could get fortunate due to Jang and get some outstanding system drops as he equipped his amazing sword. The undead squatties roared in unison as they charged in the direction of To Institution. Swinging his top-notch sword, Uncle Wang jumped in the air as he prepared to assault the undead. As he swung his sword, he requested Jang's stand returned because the undead infantrymen are extra dangerous than a mean C-rank monster. Once the route is obvious, they are able to improve towards the core of the dungeon. Cutting an undead soldier in half, Uncle Wang urged Zia to enhance his skills. Knowledge Uncle Wang's request. Xiao Chan clasped her fingers collectively, murmuring an incantation. A blue air of secrecy radiated from her fingers as Uncle Wang's competencies have been enhanced. Gritting his enamel, Uncle Wang sliced via more than one undead infantryman. Jang, dropping back, located Uncle Wang and the others preventing the undead infantrymen and wondered how they managed to live to tell the tale each time they end a dungeon. They constantly come again covered in wounds. Having said that, Xiao has continually supported him. Jang even heard that Xiao had grown to be an adventurer because she changed into compelled to do so if you want to treatment her brother's eyes. Jang needed to get more potent quickly. And while he makes money, he can properly thank them for supporting him. Little Nine, gazing the scenes, inquired why there are such a lot of monsters and blood here. She wanted to consume them. Searching at the undead corpses, Jang smiled, noting that Little Nine had already sensed it. Little Nine materialized behind him with a devilish grin. Sensing Little Nine's hunger, Jang desired to test a number of Little Nine's potential. Little Nine's first potential is Poison Barrier Level 1. The capability is Corrosion. Jang lifted his hand as black-purple mist materialized within the palm of his hand. He launched Little Nine as she jumped at the undead corpses. The monster corpses were corroded the instant they made contact. Little Nine's poison mist is so effective. However, the level of the monsters is simply too low, causing the increase fee to be gradual. It seems they need to consume more monsters. As Little Nine gobbled the corpses, Jang regarded back on the others. Uncle Wang and the other two are without a doubt partners who've been teaming up for years. In this type of brief time, they have already advanced to the depths of the dungeon. Because the poison mist is a place of effectability, and even though Jang cannot control it exactly yet, there might be unintentional accidents. Then Jang ought to simply follow behind and cope with these monster corpses. All at once, a mini version of Little Nine materialized on Jang's shoulder, prompting him to appearance inside the course she was pointing. It appears Little Nine sensed sparkling blood. Turning to the direction Little Nine was pointing, Jang ought to see new undead rising. These undead rising were distinct from the others his team had killed. It became a shadow lurker with excessive stats, lurking in the shadows to hunt down weaker stragglers. However, in terms of attributes, those monsters were completely not so good as Jang, who has the attribute enhancement from the United Talent. Looking to check his abilities, Jang stretched out his hand. Little Nine transformed into toxic mist as he commanded, and she followed him. The shadow lurker suddenly moved towards Jang, who stood nonetheless as darkish pink mist formed around him. Jang readied himself and jumped towards the shadow lurker, fast remaining the distance. He tagged the shadow lurker with his poison mist. The shadow lurkers appeared surprised as pink mist began to envelop them. Jang raised his hand where the purple mist floated around, then clenched it right into a fist. And then the shadow lurker had been right away gobbled by Little Nine. Numerous machine messages popped up, mentioning that Jang's stats have long passed up by using plus 50. Positive sufficient, those monsters are not any fit for him. And the devouring fee also will increase quicker in this manner. Little Nine sensed extra shadow lurkers appearing. There are simply so many monsters hidden on this dungeon. Jang unexpectedly felt concerned approximately Uncle Wang and the others. Smiling, Jang requested Little Nine to deal with the undead. Little Nine's shape started out to materialize with a pointy, menacing appearance.
A couple of minutes later, Jang arrived at Uncle Wang's place, in conjunction with others. As he approached, he observed that Uncle Wang had become badly injured dealing with a set of monsters. Uncle Wang wielded his exceptional sword with both hands, his back pressed towards Zio's back. Zio extended her arms towards the monsters, poised to make use of her talents for protection against the impending attack. As the monsters closed in on Uncle Wang and Xia, shifting rapidly to assault, Uncle Wang's blood dripped onto his face. Regardless of the ache, he gritted his teeth and locked eyes with the advancing monsters. He explained to Xia that every encounter with the monsters seemed to grow more difficult, emphasizing the growing problem in defeating them. Realizing the dire situation, Uncle Wang acknowledged that they could not survive if they persisted at this pace. He turned to Xia and informed her to locate Jang and evacuate right away. Confused, Xia looked at him and asked for clarification. In that moment of distraction, an undead soldier seized the opportunity, unexpectedly advancing toward Uncle Wang with the intention to attack by surprise. Uncle Wang gripped the sword with one hand and glanced aside, sensing the presence of the undead soldier. Confused by the unfolding events, he swiftly redirected his attention towards the monster. As he noticed the sword hastily approaching his head, he clenched his teeth tightly, realizing the gravity of the situation. In that critical moment, Jang emerged and rapidly intervened. He extended his hand in the direction of the monster and employed Little Nine's toxic mist capability. The mist enveloped the undead soldier, gradually corroding its frame and causing it to fall apart. As Uncle Wang witnessed this sudden turn of events, he was both surprised and confused, observing the soldier's frame vanish before his eyes. Uncle Wang felt a sense of bewilderment as he pondered what was unfolding. All at once, Jang's voice broke through the chaos, asking if Uncle Wang and the others were all right. Startled, Uncle Wang turned his head and saw Jang drawing near. His expression tightened as he remained silent. Jang extended his hand to the side and deployed Little Nine's toxic mist, infecting the undead soldiers and eradicating them one at a time as he neared Uncle Wang and the group. As the undead soldiers gradually dissolved from the effects of the toxic mist, Uncle Wang shifted his attention toward Jang. Holding his sword with one hand, Uncle Wang fixed his gaze on Jang and inquired how a creation class awakened person like him could accomplish such feats. Jang halted before Uncle Wang, exuding a powerful aura. He turned towards him with a smile and explained that he possessed a hidden ability known as toxic mist. With a relaxed demeanor, Jang mentioned this and then extended his hand to release Little Nine's toxic mist once again. Concerned for Uncle Wang's injury, Jang informed Zio to help him in quickly transporting Uncle Wang to the portal of the secret realm. Jang assured them that he intended to stay behind to provide cover for their escape. His assertion left everyone speechless. Uncle Wang's expression shifted to one of wonder as he gazed at Jang, expressing concern over the danger. Despite Jang's divine class abilities, Xiao, also shocked, advised Jang to join them instead of staying behind to confront the undead soldiers. As they conversed, the brunette lady brought her hand to her mouth and fell silent, her expression reflecting uncertainty. Jang turned away from them, his body radiating a powerful aura. He glanced back slightly and reassured Uncle Wang not to worry, confident that he could handle the situation. With that, Jang turned away from Uncle Wang and the others, his energy intensifying as he advanced toward the monsters. At that moment, a notification from the system informed everyone that the boss of the secret realm was being summoned, triggered by the number of people meeting the requirements at the final stage. As Uncle Wang watched Jang move away towards the monsters, preparing to intervene, Xiao interjected before he could voice his concern. She turned toward Uncle Wang and reminded him that Jang was not reckless, urging him to trust Jang. After careful consideration, Uncle Wang chose to trust Jang. He tossed the sword to Jang, instructing him to remember to return it later. Jang caught the sword and reassured Uncle Wang, promising to return it without fail. The sword in question was the Beginner Conqueror's sword, boasting 25 speed points, 30 strength points, and a 2% attack speed bonus. Additionally, it featured an already active passive capability. Jang examined the sword intently, his gaze fixed on the monsters with determination. With Uncle Wang's sword in hand, Jang saw an opportunity to enhance the attack range of the toxic mist ability. This improvement filled him with optimism and resolution. Jang activated the toxic mist ability, causing it to slowly emerge at the blade of his sword. The undead soldiers surged forward, aiming to attack Jang. However, with great speed, Jang swiftly evaded their moves. Using Uncle Wang's sword, Jang expertly sliced through the monsters, infecting them with the toxic mist as he dispatched them into pieces. The monsters posed no challenge to Jang, who was renowned as the top swordsman in the entire school. As Jang focused on battling the undead soldiers, a much stronger monster suddenly gained momentum, charging toward him at high speed. This formidable monster unsheathed its sword and carefully closed in on Jang, poised to launch a surprise attack. Initially unaware of the upcoming assault, Jang hastily turned his head to see the monster charging towards him at great speed. With quick reflexes, Jang gathered momentum and performed a powerful leap, evading the monster's strike. The force of the monster's attack was so immense that it shattered the ground into pieces where Jang had stood moments before. Witnessing Jang dodge its initial assault, the monster glared at him with a murderous gaze, tightening its grip on the sword. As Jang was airborne, the monster launched another attack. Luckily, Jang was able to block the attack just in time with Uncle Wang's sword. But due to the overwhelming power of the monster's strike, the sword lent to Jang by Uncle Wang shattered into halves, causing Jang to be thrown backward from the impact. Rapidly, Jang planted his feet on the ground, halting his momentum. He glanced to the side and was surprised to see that Uncle Wang's sword had shattered. The boss's strength surpassed Jang's expectations. More concerned about the broken sword than the formidable boss, Jang fretted over how to explain the situation to Uncle Wang. The boss of the secret realm was known as the Undead King, an impressive opponent at level 15. With sword in hand, the Undead King fixed a murderous gaze on Jang. Suddenly, the Undead King's body began to vibrate, and in an instant, it reappeared behind Jang, poised to launch a devastating attack. Upon sensing the Undead King's sudden movement, Jang felt a wave of terror and wondered how the boss had achieved such incredible speed. With determination in his eyes, Jang locked his gaze on the Undead King and summoned Little Nine for assistance. Just as the Undead King's sword was about to strike Jang, Little Nine materialized and seized hold of the blade, intercepting the attack. Little Nine fixed her gaze on the Undead King and inquired of Jang if she should eliminate him. Jang responded affirmatively without hesitation. Thrilled by this permission, Little Nine rapidly shattered the blade of the Undead King's sword with her bare hand. She extended her arms outward, her body emanating a powerful energy that radiated in all directions. Upon witnessing the destruction of its sword, the undead king grew cautious. Deprived of its weapon, the undead king opted to attack with its fists. Seizing the opportunity presented by Little Nine's distraction, it rapidly advanced toward her, intending to catch her off guard. Suddenly, Little Nine's eyes snapped open, and her body underwent a dramatic transformation. With a determined glare, Little Nine locked eyes with the undead king and deployed her tentacles in self-defense. Taking an offensive stance, she launched a barrage of attacks towards the undead king, using her sharp tentacles, each strike as deadly as a sword. Gradually, her powerful tentacles began to dismantle the body of the undead king. She started by severing the left arm of the undead king, followed rapidly by the right arm. Little Nine impaled her tentacle into the head of the undead king, causing the boss's body to disintegrate to the ground. Holding the head of the undead king in her hand, Little Nine's body radiated with powerful energy as she approached Jang. Witnessing Little Nine's dazzling display of power, Jang couldn't help but smile in amazement. He marveled at how calm Little Nine remained in the face of such a formidable secret realm boss. Jang anticipated that defeating the boss would prompt the portal to open. As Little Nine approached Jang, an energy crystal materialized in front of him. As Jang gazed at the crystal, he contemplated its purpose and origin. The energy crystal ascended into the sky, gradually drawing magic from the corpses of the defeated monsters. Jang watched in amazement as this process unfolded before him. After several seconds, the energy crystal emitted a brilliant glow, summoning a giant monster into existence. The massive entity that emerged was called the Undead Tyrant, towering over Little Nine and Jang by 20 times their size. Fixing a menacing gaze upon them, the Undead Tyrant directed its attention towards Jang and Little Nine. Jang, observing the transformation of the energy crystal into this colossal creature, began to speculate whether the energy crystal itself was the true boss of the secret realm. Jang swiftly turned his head, gritting his teeth, and commanded Little Nine to target and destroy the energy crystal within the Undead Tyrant. As the giant creature fixated its gaze on Jang, it let out a deafening roar. The Undead Tyrant swung a mace at Little Nine, but with great agility, she leaped off the wall, narrowly evading the attack. Having dodged the initial assault, the Undead Tyrant readied itself to strike again. It lunged at Little Nine yet again, but she swiftly leaped into the air, narrowly avoiding the attack. As a result, the monster's mace slammed into the ground, shattering it into pieces. At the same time as Little Nine remained airborne, with a fierce expression, Little Nine constant her intense gaze at the Undead Tyrant and extended. While Little Nine remained airborne, with a fierce expression, she fixed her intense gaze on the Undead Tyrant and extended her fingers, sending sharp tentacles rapidly towards it. Despite her relentless assault, the boss effortlessly dodged each attack as if it were nothing. Jang was astonished to see the massive Undead Tyrant move with such incredible speed. Gritting his teeth, Jang pondered a strategy. Surveying the ground, he noticed several plants scattered among the debris. Seeing this opportunity, Jang decided to leverage his divine creation class known as Spiritual Master. Focusing closely on the plants, he realized he had only one opportunity to execute his mission.
Jang acknowledged the incredible speed and power of the Undead Tyrant's attacks. As the monstrous creature lifted its mace from the ground and prepared to strike, Jang likened it to a rampaging bull beyond control. However, he recognized this frenzy as a potential weakness. Meanwhile, Little Nine attempted to assail the Undead Tyrant with her sharp tentacles, but the creature countered by spinning its body at high speed, effortlessly evading her attacks and gaining momentum. Advancing rapidly, the Undead Tyrant closed in on Jang. Within moments, it launched itself into a mighty leap. Jang raised his gaze toward the approaching creature, realizing the impending danger. He had sensed it before. There were numerous hidden passages beneath the ground. As the Undead Tyrant soared through the air, it seized its mace with both hands, swiftly closing the distance toward Jang. As the Undead Tyrant closed in for an attack, Jang observed its gradual approach, waiting for the opportune moment he prepared to employ his talent to halt its advance. When the Undead Tyrant drew near enough, Jang focused intently, determining that the time was right. Extending his hand toward the ground, a green symbol materialized in his palm. Harnessing his talent, Jang summoned the concealed spiritual roots from beneath the ground. With his gaze fixed upon the undead tyrant, he directed his hand towards it with determination. In mere moments, 4 spiritual roots emerged from the earth, lancing toward the undead tyrant, piercing its body. The roots ensnared the creature in midair, immobilizing it completely. With his hand outstretched and his body enveloped in a potent aura, Jiang directed his attention to Little Nine, signaling that it was her moment to act. Swiftly, Little Nine approached the undead tyrant, her hand landing on its head, while her other hand readied her claws. Fixing the creature with a deadly glare, she affirmed her understanding to Jiang with a resolute, "Understood, master," as Little Nine prepared to strike. The undead tyrant's expression shifted dramatically, sensing impending danger. Despite its attempts to defend itself, it proved futile. In a swift motion, Little Nine surged forward, her sharp claws and tentacles slashing through the air. With precision, she pierced the creature's body, cleaving it in half and obliterating the spiritual roots in the process. Within moments, the lifeless form of the undead tyrant crumpled to the ground. Jiang, with his hands still raised towards the sky, maintained control over both the spiritual roots and the tyrant's corpse. A sense of pride swelled within him at his victory over the formidable foe. Knowing that his ability was reliable, Jiang felt reassured that he could continue to be a formidable force in battles as long as he utilized his skills effectively. Lost in contemplation, Jiang was interrupted by a system notification indicating that the growth acceleration was now on an 8-hour cooldown. Consequently, the spiritual roots began to diminish gradually. Moments later, the core materialized from the undead tyrant's corpse. Recognizing its significance, Jiang swiftly resolved to destroy it without delay. In a swift motion, Jiang intercepted the core before it could escape, seizing it firmly in his grasp. With determination, he clenched his fist tightly, causing the core to fracture into pieces. As the shards descended to the earth, Jiang fixed his gaze upon his clenched fist, harboring a resolute expression as he contemplated that this marked the conclusion, amidst the aftermath. A flurry of system notifications cascaded, heralding Jiang's triumph in clearing the C-rank secret realm, known as the Temple of the Undead. Swiftly, the system computed his contributions, culminating in the successful generation of the secret realm score. Despite starting at level 0 and bearing the class of Spiritual Master, Jiang Cheng achieved an impressive S rating in this secret realm. Wang Yi, a level 12 swordsman, secured a B rating, while Liu Yang, a level 11 warlock, achieved an A rating. Yi Qian, a level 10 boxer, also earned a B rating. As the heavenly system commenced the computation of team rewards, a window materialized before Zhang, signaling the forthcoming rewards. After a brief pause, the system completed the generation of team rewards, prolonging the window's appearance. Zhang was presented with several weapon options to consider. The first was a dagger, followed by a scepter, then a heavy axe, a lighter axe, and finally a hammer. As the spiritual root gradually receded into the ground, Zhang found himself gazing at the system window, lost in contemplation for several moments. He reached into the system window and selected the dagger. As he retrieved the weapon, its statistics became visible. It was Edmu's Swift Dagger, rank D, providing the user with 50 attack points and a 5% speed bonus. The dagger was associated with swords and offered 2 professional attributes. Inspecting the blade with one hand, Jiang found it satisfactory and resolved to offer it as recompense for Uncle Wang. His gaze shifted to the array of equipment displayed in the system window. It dawned on him quickly that all the gear catered to combat needs. Uncertain if there was anything tailored for creation classes, Zhang leaned closer to the system window. He reached in and began scrutinizing the attributes of each item. Opting for the hammer, he extracted it from the system, but upon lifting it, the weight caused it to slip from his grasp, thudding heavily onto the ground. The hammer, dubbed Call of the King, bestowed upon the user a formidable 100 strength points, albeit at the cost of deducting 100 agility points due to its heft. Its unique attribute allowed for a 10% chance to trigger critical damage amplified 5-fold. As Zhang struggled to hoist the hammer, he sensed a novel feeling creeping over him. A notification popped up, indicating that he was receiving experience points as a reward. Zhang swiftly comprehended that the system was granting him the experience gained from the secret realm. Despite the hammer's weight, Zhang felt the newfound experience gradually empowering him to lift it. In mere moments, he effortlessly hoisted the hammer, as if it weighed nothing. Another notification from the system revealed that the United ability was activated, boosting all of Jiang's attributes by 20%. Surrounded by a potent aura, he held the hammer in one hand, while casually slipping the other into his pocket, his gaze fixed on the hammer. Benefiting from the passive ability of the insect mother, he had ascended to level 6, enhancing the potency of the United effect. With each level gained, he noticed a marked improvement in his physical combat prowess. Lost in contemplation, Jiang was drawn back to the present as Little Nine tugged at his shirt, demanding his attention. Jiang's reverie was interrupted by Little Nine's voice. She gestured towards the system window, inquiring if she could consume all the rewards. Setting the hammer down, Jiang met her gaze, contemplating her request for a moment. Turning towards her, Jiang explained that the equipment wasn't edible for Little Nine. It was meant for Uncle Wang and the others to trade for money. He warned her that eating it would give her a stomachache. Little Nine, upon hearing this, dropped one hand behind her back and touched her lips with the other, her expression shifting to one of sadness as she looked at Jiang. Turning her body towards the undead tyrant's corpse, Little Nine inquired if she could consume it. Jiang realized he had overlooked the value of devouring the remains of the boss. Surrounded by a potent aura, he nodded and granted Little Nine permission to devour it, recognizing that it rightfully belonged to her. Little Nine wasted no time in approaching the colossal corpse of the undead tyrant. Observing its immense size, Jiang couldn't help but wonder if the boss was perhaps too large. Considering its bulk, he speculated that it might take Little Nine quite some time to corrode it using her poisonous mist. Little Nine stretched her arms wide, closed her eyes, and informed Jiang that she was about to feast. Instantly, her body began to tremble, reverting to her natural state within moments. Once transformed, she fixed the undead tyrant's corpse with an intense, predatory stare, her mouth opening as she moved closer to it. Despite the colossal size of the undead tyrant's corpse, it appeared minuscule compared to the mother insect's natural form. Jiang watched in awe as she reverted to her original state to consume the corpse, a sight that filled him with dread. With her mouth agape, she charged toward the boss remains, emitting a series of ferocious roars as she approached. As Little Nine devoured the corpse, a powerful gust of wind swept through the area. Jiang seized the opportunity to retrieve all the equipment from the system window. With one hand clutching the hammer, he shielded his face from the wind generated by Little Nine's roaring. Although the noise was deafening, they were fortunate to be within the confines of the secret realm. Had this occurred in the bustling main city, their actions would have undoubtedly attracted unwanted attention, regardless of their efforts to conceal themselves. Upon finishing the feast, a system notification emerged, awarding Jiang with 400 devouring points. As he shielded his face with his arm, Jiang noticed that the devouring value was escalating at a rapid pace. As anticipated, the boss's meat indeed held unique value. Jiang understood that consuming more boss-type monsters was imperative to boost the devouring value further. Lost in contemplation, he was suddenly alerted by approaching footsteps. Swiveling around, he gritted his teeth upon realizing that Uncle Wang and the others were drawing near, likely drawn by the commotion caused by Little Nine. With the devouring value standing at 876 points, Jiang approached Little Nine and urged her to revert to her other form swiftly. Little Nine's smile faded slightly as she complied with his request, a hint of regret in her expression. Jiang felt a pang of disappointment knowing that the devouring value was tantalizingly close to being maxed out. Within moments, Uncle Wang and the others reached their location. As Uncle Wang noticed the equipment scattered on the ground, he understood that Jiang had successfully completed the level. Jiang clarified to Uncle Wang the situation with his broken sword, presenting him with the dagger as compensation. Uncle Wang accepted the dagger readily, acknowledging its rarity. He assured Jiang that he wouldn't hold him responsible for the damage to his equipment. Approaching Jiang, Uncle Wang revealed that the necklace was another valuable item, worth a considerable sum if sold. Yi Qian, intrigued, inquired how Jiang had managed to defeat the boss single-handedly. Jiang scratched his head sheepishly and explained that his poison appeared to have a particularly potent effect on formidable monsters like the boss. With a solemn expression, Jiang directed his gaze downwards. The secret realm had been thoroughly conquered, but once a secret realm was cleared, it wouldn't reset. Acquiring the devouring value from another boss would be crucial to kick-starting the insect swarm breeding. If Jiang aimed to encounter a new boss, His only option was to venture into the desert. Observing Jiang, Uncle Wang expressed regret that Jiang was destined for the research department. Despite not even reaching level 1, he had already vanquished a boss monster, suggesting significant potential for strength once he leveled up. After sharing his thoughts, Uncle Wang inquired about Jiang's future plans. Turning towards Uncle Wang, Jiang smiled and revealed that he hadn't mentioned it earlier to avoid causing worry. In truth, he had decided to join the Night's Watch. Surprised, Uncle Wang sought confirmation. Questioning Jiang's sincerity in his decision, Jiang nodded, affirming his intention to join the Night's Watch. Jiang disclosed his plan to depart for the Night's Watch in 3 days' time. Before his departure, he aimed to boost his level, intending to venture into the wilderness for further leveling. Uncle Wang's astonishment was evident, while Yi Qian reacted with disbelief, her hand covering her mouth at the thought of Jiang embarking on such a perilous endeavor. As Lu Yang extended her hand towards him, her expression grave with concern, Jiang interrupted her, his fist clenched tightly. In response, Little Nine's poisonous mist began to emanate from the palm of his hand, a silent testament to his determination. Assuring Lu Yang not to worry about him, Jiang expressed confidence in his abilities and urged them to focus their concerns on the looming threat of the monsters. Later that day, Jiang boarded the train, arriving at the city's outskirts a few hours later. Prompted by the conductor, those bound for the wilderness disembarked the train. Stepping off the train, Jiang wrapped himself in a cloak to blend into the crowd, keen on avoiding undue attention. Pausing to survey his surroundings, his gaze fixed on a bustling bridge teeming with awakeners. Since awakening the system, Jiang found his appetite strangely heightened. What astonished him even more was that despite its instability, his devouring value exhibited a slight uptick with each meal. As Jiang nibbled on a loaf of bread, his devouring value incremented by 2 points. Little Nine materialized beside him, grimacing at the bread as she commented on its lack of flavor. Determined to find her something more palatable, Jiang resolved to seek out a suitable meal for Little Nine. With a gesture, he conjured a map and unfolded it before Little Nine. The generosity of Uncle Wang surprised him. Not only had he provided the map, but also a crucial storage ring and additional guidance upon learning of Jiang's journey to the desert. These provisions proved invaluable to Jiang. He ventured forth across the bridge, mindful of Uncle Wang's counsel. In the wilderness, the influence of the Heavenly Way rendered electronic devices useless, akin to an apocalyptic landscape where monsters roamed freely, migrating to their nests without restraint. The maps provided had a fleeting utility. Devoid of updated intelligence, locating monster clusters, let alone bosses, posed a formidable challenge. Creatures like firebirds and thunder rhinoceroses, conspicuous in their movements, were among the most prevalent. Areas marked with question marks were to be steered clear of, deemed perilous nests with elevated risk levels. Uncle Wang had advised Zong that the Goblin Dungeon would be the most fitting choice. Low-leveled, abundant in monsters, and less crowded. As Jiang scrutinized the map, he tightened his fist, sporting a smile, resolved to embark on the journey. However, amidst his contemplations, a voice abruptly interrupted, commanding him to halt. Jiang tensed up, swiveling around to face the source of the voice. A cloaked figure stood before him, hand resting firmly on Jiang's shoulder. Eyes fixated with intensity, he questioned why Jiang had ignored his calls, expressing a desire to inquire about something important. The cloaked man inquired if Jiang had spotted a girl with golden hair nearby. Jiang's gaze sharpened, and he denied seeing anyone fitting that description, cautioning the man to mind his words. Simultaneously, Little Nine's poisonous mist began to emit from Zhang's shoulder, adhering to the man's hand. The cloaked man swiftly withdrew his hand from Jiang's shoulder, a perplexed expression crossing his face. Examining his hand, he clenched his teeth, pondering if this substance was poison. He found it puzzling, as Jiang didn't appear to have reached a level capable of such an attack. Nonetheless, he remained unperturbed, knowing that Jiang at his current level couldn't pose a threat to him, a level 27 main defense warrior. With a dismissive gesture, Jiang turned his back and walked away, advising the man to seek a healer promptly, cautioning him about the severity of the poison. He added a word of caution about maintaining vigilance. Despite Jiang's departure, the man couldn't contain his anger, demanding Jiang's attention and questioning his authority to leave. Hearing this, Zhang fixed his gaze on the man, his expression turning fierce. As the man approached, emanating a formidable aura, he leveled a penetrating stare at Zhang, questioning his audacity in crossing paths with the Xiao family. Zhang's mind raced, contemplating if the man was alluding to the Yao family from the Battle of Heaven.